Okay, everybody. So today we're going to continue working with our two art words, which are value and form. So value, as we discussed last week, is how light or dark something is. So anytime you're working with something like a pencil and doing shading, you're adding value. And our second art word is form, which means a three-dimensional object. So that's going to be things like spheres, cubes, cylinders, and cones. Okay, so we're gonna talk about cylinder first. Okay, now a cylinder, you're going to start by doing a skinny oval for the top, and then you're going to do lines, straight lines down for the sides, and then a curved line connecting those sides at the bottom. Okay, now we're going to pretend like the light is coming from here, from this side of my paper today. So what that's going to mean is with the cylinder is you're going to be working in stripes of value. So I'm going to put a little light value kind of over here on the edge, and then I'm going to lighten the value to a highlight. So I'm going to leave a little space white on my paper to show the lightest part where the light is hitting my object. And then I'm going to start darkening it back up again as I go over here towards the other side. And then once I'm done with the value on the side, you're going to see that I'm going to start putting some value on the very top of the form too, just a light value. And then we're going to do a cast shadow as well. So everything casts a shadow when it's sitting on a surface, so you're going to want to make sure that you do put a shadow on your objects. Okay, next we're going to do a cone. So a cone is going to be pretty easy to draw. It's like drawing a capital A, two diagonal lines that meet at the top, and then the bottom is just going to be a curved line that connects them at the bottom. Now with a cone, when you do value on a cone, you're going to work in triangle shapes. So see how I'm starting at the tip of the cone and down at the bottom, the shadow or the value is going to get wider. Now since the light is coming from the same area as it is from the cylinder, I'm going to start with a very light value over on that side of the cone, and then I'm going to work darker and darker as I go towards the other side. And just like our other objects, we're going to do a cast shadow on the cone. Cast shadow is going to be at a point over there. You can see it comes to a point where you would imagine that the shadow would create a point where the top of the cone is there. Next, we're going to do a cube. Now we're going to go into more detail about how to draw cubes accurately later on in the year when we do 1 point perspective. But basically start with a square, do 3 diagonal lines coming off of each corner, and 2 lines connecting those diagonal lines. It's okay if that is difficult, do your best. And like I said, the light's always coming from the same area there, so we're gonna do a light value at the top. Now a cube is very special because it only has 3 showing sides at the moment, and each side is not going to have a gradient or a change in value. They're just going to have a solid value on each side of the cube. And like I said, if your cube isn't perfect looking, it's okay, just give it a shot. We are going to go into more detail about how to draw those accurately later. Okay, so you saw the one face I just finished is a medium value, and then this face towards the back of where the light is going to be my darkest value. So I'm coloring in that very, very dark. And I'm still going to do a cast shadow on my cube. And last, we're going to just revisit that sphere that we learned last week. I'm just going to do a little tiny one because you remember how this goes. And I'll zoom in so you can see a little more clearly here. So again, the light's coming from the same place. We're going to leave the highlight white, and we're going to put the lightest values around it. And then as we work towards the bottom of the sphere, our values are going to get darker, and they're also going to kind of be in that crescent shape down towards the very bottom of the sphere. Look at how fast I draw. Isn't that amazing? Okay, then cast shadow on the surface. Again, the light's coming from the same area on all our objects, so we're going to put it in the same place. And those are your basic forms: cylinder, cone, cube, sphere. Great job, guys.